Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
I'm your host, Con John Turk, and on this episode, I talk to an old internet friend. And we try to figure out how he got started working for a pro race team. My guest, an OG of K20A.org, K-Swap guy of the Northeast, some of y'all probably know him as that, proprietor of DMAutoPartsNY.com, Dave Marino. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think... So I haven't seen you outside of social media posts in, was it like a 2017, 2018 Hyperfest maybe?
I think so.
Somewhere in there. We shared the track together. Yeah, a long time ago. And
yeah,
back then it was, you have a K-swapped hatch. You better still have it. I'll be really upset if you don't have it, but
I do. We can dive into that a little more.
Yeah. Because you threaten to put a for sale sign in it all the time, and I think I'm quick to catch you on the internet and be like, no, don't you dare do that. But, what have you been up to in the last 7 years? It seems like.
Ooh, let's see. So, last 7 years definitely had an interesting journey of different jobs, careers, professions, businesses. So I guess related more to this, I've been working in the professional racing world a little bit, doing some SRO stuff, some IMSA stuff, and dabbling a little bit in Trans Am as well. Right now, the pro race team that I work for currently, for the last year and a half or so, is Random Vandals Racing. They run a G80 M4 GT4 right now in IMSA and SRO in the GT4 class.
BMW traders. You drove a Hondas and now you're working for a BMW team.
Those things are really cool, I have to say, but Honda only has the they have the Type R in TC and TCR right now. So they're cool to see. I still check them out every time I get a chance to.
Yeah. You also, you're a serial entrepreneur, right? So nobody's going to see this because I don't release the video, but he and I are both wearing matching shirts. A shirt I got from him probably 7 or 8 years ago now. So let's talk a little bit about DM Auto Parts, because I know I've hit you up for parts. You're like the Northeast version of Sanford and Son for K-Series parts as well. What I envision you as. You're not, but
Yeah, so DM Auto Parts started, maybe 2016 or so? Probably before that, honestly. I think legally it was 2016. But I've been parting out cars, flipping parts, selling stuff, trading stuff for as long as I can remember to basically fund my own Civic builds. And then I realized I'm pretty good at finding the right parts, making for sale ads, which I learned from the forums back in the day, if any of you guys remember that. So yeah, I just started.
They're still alive.
The
forums are still alive, man.
I wish they were more active.
They're active because people search through Google and then they go and look at them. So everybody's build threads, my build thread count goes up every day. My how to, do XYZ goes up every week, probably. They're just not active as in a conversation, but people still use them because you can't find how do you put TLS brakes on an 8th gen Civic on a Facebook group, No. So you have to go to the forums still.
Yeah. So I mostly started selling car parts on the forums and eBay, Craigslist when that was active as well. Now it's just kind of like Scam Central Craigslist, and Facebook. So I've just been selling parts for years, and then started to make a little brand for myself. I mean, like you said, I'm in the Northeast, so like I know all the other K-Swap guys. I've done my own K-Swap on my Civic, on my EK. I think I'm on like motor number 3 in there now. Yeah, I started with a 2.0. I blew up a 2.0, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to put a 2.4 in here. Blew up that 2.4 at Watkins Glen. I'm on another 2.4 now. But so yeah, I've been parting out a lot of RSXs, EP3s, a couple S2000s, a couple of TSXs, other random stuff in there. People's wrecked cars, abandoned projects, and just anything else. People just selling their cars. They always hit me up. So I just had a nice network of people always contacting me to sell stuff. I mean, right now I'm kind of in a little bit of a DM Auto Parts kind of on a back burner right now, just where my life's focused on some other things and my garage situation isn't the best for parting out cars and selling stuff. So DM Auto Parts is a little slow right now. One of the things that I've been doing, which my friends all laughed at me for this, but every car that I would part out, I would collect all the bolts and put them in a big bin. And like my garage had like a huge giant, those like big Tupperware containers full of bolts, like hundreds of pounds. My friend's like, what are you going to do with these? I'm like, oh, you never know when you need a 10 mil, but like I had thousands of 10 mils. And so
I do the same thing. I mean, I don't part out cars, but I was literally buying Honda bolts from people who were disassembling vehicles by the pound.
Yep. Yeah, you've mentioned that to me.
Yeah, and I had, because I've built, now I'm on my second race car. I've had 70 pounds of bolts come to my house, and now I'm running a little low. I won't lie.
Well, I can send you a nice care package, but so what I've been doing with all the bolts that I've collected for years and years of parting out cars is getting them all zinc plated. So I have like some nice professionally zinc plated OEM Honda bolts, all the specialty bolts. So I've been working on a lot of that stuff, and like I listed them on eBay and a couple of the Facebook groups, and just like, oh, let's see if these sell. And like I was honestly blown away by like how much of them sold. A lot of the like specialty like suspension bolts and everything that you know us in the Northeast have, the rust boxes, the whole rust belt. Like it's horrible to work on cars up here that are older ones, but so a lot of people buy up that stuff. So it's pretty cool. Make a little bit of cash off random bolts that took me 2 seconds to take off my car, and just help keep the Hondas alive. That was one of the things I always enjoyed about parting out cars. Like, sure, this RSX that I have right here is going to the scrapyard and the shell's getting crushed, but all the parts from it are going to help save other Hondas and keep those running.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you can pull for bolts on eBay or wherever you're selling them, but I'll tell you what, Honda's really proud of their brand new bolts. So if you could buy used and get them zinc plated, but in bulk at a decent price, you're going to save yourself a lot of money, because I mean, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Especially like some of the like specialty like suspension bolts and everything are like $9 each, and you're like, wait, I'm going to spend like $70 on suspension bolts, like, and like it just like, sure, $70 isn't a ton of money, but like that adds up on the build, and you're like, oh well, might as well replace these, and then you're like, I'm like $700 into bolts now. What just happened? Which when I spreadsheeted the build of the new car, and I had a line item where I literally was like, find bolts on eBay in bulk. And I budgeted myself $210 worth of that, because just the 4 bolts that hold the subframe on the 8th gen, each one of those bolts is $14 a piece. And I didn't know it was going to go bad or what was stripped or what I needed, and I didn't buy them all. I didn't buy very much of that. So I saved money there, but you need it. The bolts don't last forever, and you need clean ones, good ones, not, boogered up ones. So yeah, absolutely.
Something to think about, everybody. But also DM Auto Parts, the website itself. I know we were talking before we pressed record, but you need to rehash that, because that's where your brand is. right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So on the website as well, I have some like a couple of items of apparel. I mean, some stuff with my own branding, DM Auto Parts. I mean, I'm not that well known yet, so I don't think people are running to go buy that. But I have some cool Integrity shirts. They're based around the Type R. I have a couple of Honda Challenge t-shirts. I know a lot of the Honda Challenge people probably listen here. A couple of Run H1. I know a bunch of the Northeast guys have bought some over the years from me. And then there's bunch of other like chassis that are involved in there too for that type of style. And then I have my favorite one is it's a t-shirt of Jesus holding a nice turbo on it. So I always get compliments when I go to the drag race track for that one.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it's probably been years now because, it's been 7+ years since we've seen each other in person, but, I thought you went to like, I don't know, the import stuff down at MIR and things like that in the past. So you've been pretty active trackside with your brand.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly love the drag racing side of things. Would I ever build one? Absolutely not. That just sounds like the biggest waste of money. But I don't know. I thoroughly enjoy watching the front wheel drive drag race and all the all wheel drive cars now. I think that's just pretty cool. Seeing these Hondas back half some of these muscle cars.
Oh yeah. And they do it.
Oh yeah.
So there's a couple of guys local. Norris is actually local to me. He's, I don't know, 25 minutes away from me, north of me right now. That's where his shop is. But I mean, it's a $200,000 drag car.
Oh, absolutely. Just insane. And then some of them using like Wago van parts and you're running sevens on a 30-year-old rear. Like just mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then, well, I mean, I won't say who, but I've heard they're ordering dozens of transmission cases from the OEM, from Honda dealers, like every year, every winter and spring. You can guarantee if you're like, oh man, I busted an ear off on my transmission. Let me hit up Honda and get a new case. Can't be that bad. They were so in demand. The cases are now outrageous at Honda, and they still buy them by the dozens. So,
oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah,
scary. Honda discontinuing a lot of stuff and making all of our parts for all of our old junk box Hondas harder and harder to get. It's always like disappointing. You see like somebody post up on like a Facebook group like, this is discontinued. Does anybody have this like door seal? Like there's a couple like bolts, brackets, like general stuff that you're going to need for like your car, or like somebody took apart a car and lost it. So it's just getting sad that you're seeing these things just kind of become harder and more expensive to build when they used to be cheap builds. Relatively.
Oh yeah. My buddy Ryan sold brand new OEM Integra quarter panels, like the whole big piece, both sides. I mean, shipped from Virginia to Washington State, I think. I mean, and they sold in one day. I was like, you should have asked for more money, apparently.
They probably sold for the cost of a running Integra.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. They did. But yeah, if you look up on any of the Honda websites and you go try to buy a part for an Integra Type R right now, I think the only thing left on the website is the valve cover. It's the only thing that's not discontinued, it feels like.
Okay.
So
I honestly, I'm not going to lie. I think I saw maybe it was the JDM valve covers were being discontinued. I saw a price fluctuation in those recently.
Oh, see, I have two red Type R USDM valve covers.
Oh, nice.
One's going to sit in the box on the shelf until I'm 60 years old, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with it because nobody's going to want it. And then I'm going to do some wall art with the other one because I opened it up already to look at it and just see. So.
Awesome. I love the wall art, which leads me into another little thing that I've been trying to figure out how to do with DM Auto Parts. So since I go to the racetrack all the time, I'm a big hoarder as well. I've been collecting broken wheels, some of the rotor rings and other like random stuff from used cars and everything, like the race cars. So I'm trying to make some wall decor from it. I have some cool ideas, just trying to get some of that moving. It's just been a slow back burner thing. So be on the lookout for that. I think some of the stuff a lot of you racing folks would like.
Oh, so it's not going to be a personal collection. You're going to sell it, huh?
Yes, I'm going to sell it. So yeah,
Okay.
like one of my ideas is to make some shelf brackets. So like you get your little L shelf bracket, and then like welding a piston between it, or like one of the a section of like the rotor ring. So,
okay.
Get people to hang all their trophies on, or other cool stuff that they have for their cars or in their garage. So yeah, I'm going to try and sell some of that, see what happens with it.
That's cool. That sort of leads into the business you just recently started, I feel like, or we were talking a little bit too. You got your hands on what is it a water jet that you're using?
No, it's a CNC plasma machine. So it uses a plasma torch, and yeah, me and two friends, one of them, which actually used to be a Honda Challenge racer, Dan Hanovich, he had a K-swapped S2000 that I helped him do like when they were like very new to race, when they were very new to swap in there. But me, him, and another friend of ours got a 4 foot by 8 foot table for the plasma table there, and we've been cutting all sorts of stuff out of metal. We've been making custom signs. We've been making like some fire pits and everything, and we got into somehow from a random customer making like construction equipment. So we're making like buckets for like excavators, tractors, and all sorts of other random stuff like that. It's just kind of at the point with this business, like just, seeing what works and just kind of following a direction. So we just pretty wide range of things that we can make right now. So it's pretty cool though.
That's cool. Yeah. So now that we're caught up a little bit, let's talk about how you got into cars in the first place.
Ooh, okay. I would have to say the way I got into cars was probably video games. I would definitely say some Gran Turismo, from some Need for Speed. Definitely just being around some of the like older kids when I was in high school. Like I had an older brother that was in high school the same time as me. They were all driving, and they all had like souped up WRXs or some Civics and everything like that. So just being exposed to that definitely just got me into cars more. And then when I was I bought a car when I was 16 before I could even get my license in New York. So I had a car before I had a license. And I bought a Civic, which you'll laugh at this one. I don't know if you know this at all. So I bought a 92 Civic as my first car, but it was modified. It had a GSR with some like cams in it, some bolt-ons, and it had a JDM Integra front end on it, as rice as you can get. Didn't know much. I just thought it was the coolest thing. Older me would laugh at younger me, like, why would you buy that? You're stupid, as a Honda purist that I am in some aspects. But so yeah, I bought that and then started modifying that and playing around with different parts on that. I remember one week in high school, I was like on all the forums back then. I was like, ooh, I want a set of wheels for my car, because it came on, well, I think I was on like LS Webs were on it, if anybody recalls those. And then I was like, ooh, let me find some other wheels. And I like in 1 week of high school, from like Monday, I had one set of wheels. Wednesday, I had another set. Friday, I had another set. Remember, my friends were like, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep doing this? Like, oh, it's fun. I'm just trading up for better parts. Like, and it cost me no money. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how I got into cars from there.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your Civic, because I'm trying to scumbag you into coming back to the racetrack one day. So it's ready to play, man. It's ready to play. We just need you to get ready. So let's talk a little bit about your Civic.
All right. So for those that don't know, I have a 99 Civic hatchback, an EK. It's silver. I love the silver, as basic as it is. But I originally bought this thing as a daily driver. It came with a B16 in it with Type R cams. I remember driving around for like 6 months. Loved this thing. It was from a local guy that built it. He threw it. It was a Type R in it. No, it was B16 with Type R cams. It was 5 lug. Had some little things done to it. And I went to a car meet with one of my friends, and he had a K-Swap Civic at the time, and he egged me on to do a little roll race with me, and he beat me so bad that I was like, this motor's gotta go. And then literally that winter was the start of my K-Swap adventure, which like leads me to like somewhat where I am now. So
yeah, your friend scumbagged you with the K series to get you into the K series. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So walk us through this journey. You get scumbagged into K swapping a car. You get that car K swapped. I'm assuming we did HPDs together while you were K swapped.
Yeah. So
I don't remember if you had a cage or not yet, but
I had a roll bar. But so took me like maybe 2 years to build the car. Was still in college, working and at engineering school at the same time. So it took me a little longer to get that going. Got the K-Swap in, and I have, again, being on the forums, reading the magazines and everything, I always saw ITR Expo and had like played around with some interest to see if anybody wanted to go. And I basically drove out to Mid-Ohio for ITR Expo, I think 13. And that was my first ever track day. I didn't even have a tune on my car. I had a base map, and I recklessly drove out to Mid-Ohio, drove it on track for like 2 days, I think it was. Drove it back home with like knowing nobody there. Like I didn't have any friends. I literally booked a hotel with like some random people we knew from the forums, and just kind of like got the bug.
It was safe back then.
It was.
Nobody was going to mess with you back then.
Yeah.
I don't know about it anymore, but
yeah. And I remember being at the hotel. So I'm from New York. There's tons of car theft up here. Like the K-Swap the friend that got me into the K-Swap, his car got stolen once, actually twice. Somebody stole the K-Pro. Somebody stole the car. We were parking at the hotel at wherever it was in Ohio, and I walk into the hotel room with one of my friends. He's like, why do you have your ECU in your hand? I was like, oh, I just don't want anybody to steal it. And he's like laughing. He goes, I didn't even lock my doors. He's like, what are you scared of? I was like, somebody's going to steal it. He's like, nah, you're good out here. Don't worry about it. I was just like mind blown. Like, what? Like maybe things have changed, but I was just like so nervous. Like, so, but.
Oh, I went to go pick up my 8th gen in Monroe, Louisiana. I don't remember where we stopped for the night on the way home, but I backed the trailer into like this really weird corner. I unhooked the trailer from the truck, but boxed the trailer in with the truck, then locked it to locked the trailer to the telephone pole, the car to the telephone pole, and the trailer to the truck. So I'm still worried about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's scary. Just crazy how like these old Civics, like people are still stealing, like just mind blowing. Get better hobbies, people, and be better.
Right. The catalytic converter gang is so lucrative right now. They're not taking the whole car. They're just going to cut your catalytic converter out. Much safer for them.
They got me for my Honda Element catalytic converter.
Oh, they got it out of the Element? They probably didn't even have to. They didn't even have to jack that one up, though.
No, they just crawled right under. It was in New York City. I went to the track with one of the race teams, parked in front of their shop in New York City, came back after driving through the night, go to start up my car. I was like, oh, great. I know what that means. Then drove an hour home with my windows down. It was the middle of winter. It was horrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, you didn't die from carbon monoxide or whatever, so you're okay.
No, I made it.
Terrible experience, but you're better for it.
Yeah, but back to my Civic story there. So got bitten, got the track bug from ITR Expo, and then I think I went to like 3 or 4 expos after that, and then started doing some HPDE events with a couple of local friends that I grew up with, and just started making more and more friends at the track, and just getting to know everybody, and just seeing how different the like road race community is compared to like the drag race world. Like, because again, when I was younger, like Englishtown used to be nearby me in Jersey. Like that was where all the Honda meets were back then. So like you couldn't leave a 10mm socket out without somebody stealing it or you being worried about it. Just how the Northeast is, unfortunately, up here. But like I remember like I left my laptop out on the back of my truck at like an HPD event and like didn't even think twice about it. Where I'm like, oh, if I would have left that anywhere else, that would have been gone in a second. But like the like track community is just like so much more supportive, I feel, and just like so friendly. Like I went to VIR and Ryan that you were talking about. I'm drawing a blank on his last name right now. Wow.
Bradfield.
Yes, Ryan Bradfield. So I drove down from New York to VIR with my Civic, and brakes felt spongy, and I was like, something doesn't feel right. So jacked up my car, looked at my brake lines. One of my brake lines had like a hairline little like fray in it, and I could see it was wet. And I was like, I'm not going out on track on this. And it was like Friday afternoon. I was like, great, I'm just gonna have to drive back home now. Like, what am I gonna do? And then Ryan was like, oh, hey, I got some spare brake lines. Like, you want them, have it. And I was like, okay, sure. So Ryan saved my weekend. And then for him being so nice, I just was like, yo, like, give me your address. I'm going to send you a full set of brake lines, like to your door, like just so you have spares or for anybody else at the track. So like after that incident, I just like upped my spares and like bring everything I can with me, especially K series bringing like, I've brought like 3 TPSs with me. You never know if somebody else is going to need one. I'm going to need one.
Right.
So I always have spares at the track with me for me or for anybody else. So but definitely a nice community here in the road race world.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to need you to part out some 8th gen Civics so I can get some throttle bodies, because apparently I killed one of those. And some other stuff. But okay. It's not worth it. They're $45 on eBay right now, shipped. So I bought a couple. It's
nice.
Yeah. But so what took you, how did your journey from HPDE get you to a race team?
Okay. So this is a little, I don't know, maybe not standard, but I feel like there's no standard way of getting in the race world. I don't think
anybody has a standard way to get to a pro race team. So yeah, over the years, just going to the track, networking, making friends with everybody. My friend Dan that had the K-swapped S2000 decided that he wanted to try to step up his racing and do a pro race event. So he rented a pro seat from one of the Hyundai teams, Gen Racer. So he was going out to Coda, and he was like, hey, anybody want to come with me? So like me and like 3 of our friends were like, hell yeah, let's go check out Coda. I've never been there before. So we all went, and at that event, they were racing Hyundai Genesis at the time. And one of the Genesis, I forgot what happened exactly, but basically the motor went bad, and it was like early in the weekend. So they're like, all right, we're going to figure out a way to swap this. They went to the junkyard, got a motor, and just being a car guy and just being a generally nice person, like we weren't just going to watch the race team just like, swap this motor on their own. So like me and my friends just were like, hey, do you want any help? Like we can turn wrenches, or like, we can hand you tools, like whatever you feel comfortable with us doing. And so we basically helped them swap an engine in like a full day, got it all running, and they were able to finish the rest of the weekend with that car. And then fast forward through that winter, I dropped off my Civic to get caged by the owner of that team. He was doing a lot of roll cages in the Northeast, Jeff Ricca. And I dropped off my car to him, and then he was like, hey, you interested in helping out at some of the pro race events this year coming up? Like I could always use an extra hand at the track. And I was like, sign me up, I'm in. So I actually started out on the race team doing media, because when my friend Dan was racing, I just had my camera with him. I was like, oh, just let me take pictures of the team, like just so we can remember all this. Like I'm a big one for pictures and just kind of like memories. I have thousands of photos on my phone at all times. So I originally was hired to do media for them. So I was like, oh, cool. Okay. So like I can help move things around in the track. Like I wasn't working on the cars right away.
and I was doing media. Then like next thing I know, I'm doing media and working on the car. I'm on the radio. I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So I was like doing both jobs, and then eventually just started going like, I think I did 3 years with them while I was still at my other engineering job. So I was just taking all my vacation days and going to the track with them. And then eventually became a car chief with them. We won a ton of races with that car. And then with them, with Gen Racer, they actually built the race cars for for Hyundai Motorsports and for that race class. So like we built the homologated cars. So I helped build a Veloster and an Elantra N, helped build the homologation documents for the series for our car. So I did a lot of stuff with them. And then, from there, other connections just kind of got hooked up with like FCP Euro. So I did a partial IMSA season with them when they were racing. So just kind of branched out from there and just kind of kept making connections and meeting people.
Yeah, it seems, I mean, everybody's journey is a little different, right? So you meet somebody through offering to help, right? Or you meet somebody at a HPD, or you go with your buddy who's going to rent a seat or whatever. But what it comes down to, it seems like from the people that I've talked to, is that you have to be dedicated. You still had your full-time job, because I'm going to assume it doesn't pay super great all the time, right? It's not, there are pro teams and then there's pro teams, right? Mm-hmm. So you're taking your vacation from your job. You're taking basically all the days that you can, because the pro circuit is pretty rough, right? Like they're racing all the time. And then, but they see that dedication from you. And then they're like, okay, we're going to give you more and more responsibility. Because the way I see it is, when folks are reliable, then they're going to go, oh, you're here all the time to do our social media, but you're decent at spinning a wrench. Let's see how good you are at spinning a wrench, right? That's what it seems like it happened, right? And then it just snowballed for you. So
pretty much spot on there.
So, and then that was your first gig, and you got to meet a bunch of folks and network. And that's pretty important. Networking is important in every job. It doesn't matter whether it's your full-time gig or your part-time gig. I mean, you're the serial entrepreneur. You know what networking can do for you, So
absolutely.
It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I worked for the Hyundai team for a couple of years, and then FCP Euro for a little bit, until they kind of just stopped racing. And so it almost comes full circle. My friend Dan had a driving coach, Drew Wickstrom, who anybody who wants to get faster at driving, definitely hire a driving coach. It's game-changing stuff there. So my friend Dan had that driving coach. I used him a couple of times when I could afford it. And he worked for the team that I currently work for now, Random Vandals. And they had like a weekend where like somebody like canceled on them. Like one of their workers couldn't make it. I think he got sick or something. And they were like, hey, Dave, like, can you come to the track like next week? And I was like, I got some vacation days. Like, sure, let me go. So I went for like a random weekend working with them, and they loved me, which that's a whole story itself. That day working with them, the first day working with them, I missed my connecting flight to get to Raleigh, Durham. And so I drove from DC all the way to VIR through the night, and then worked the entire day. So they were kind of impressed that I was crazy enough to do that. But so I started working with them, and then a couple of months later, at the end of the season, they asked me to come on full time with them for the SRO season, which was for 2023, and I'll be with them again in 2024.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, you missed your connecting flight, but then drove. That's the dedication. That's the commitment that you showed, right? Mm-hmm. It's the more you show that, the more they're going to lean on you, because they need that reliable person, So I'm not that far. I say I'm not that far from VIR, but I'm 4 hours from VIR. So if you ever need help at VIR, Just give me a 4-hour head start.
Okay.
So,
and I can't lie, I had another issue this year going to VIR, almost the same exact thing, but it wasn't my fault. Well, neither of them were my fault, but I landed in DC where I get a connecting flight, and they canceled the flight to go to Raleigh Durham from DC. So I slept in the airport, caught an 8 a.m. flight the next day, and was like at the track. Like they were just like, Dave, you're just going to drive from now on to VIR. Like we're not playing this. We're not messing around with this plane game anymore for VIR. You're just cursed for this.
Well, if you ever get stuck like that, call me. I'll come pick you up.
All right, will do.
I got guest rooms. You can crash here and then run down to wherever I can take you down. It's not a big deal.
All right. Thank you.
But yeah, man. So, I mean, that's generally how this thing works, right? Your foot in the door was volunteering to help a team because you didn't want to see them struggle.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to get into this type of environment, you know, you're going to have to help. You're going to have to volunteer. You're going to have to be around. I love going to races. So I love watching races. I love being in races. The only thing I hate is watching races I'm supposed to be participating in. That's the worst race. But if it's a race I don't race in, I still love watching it, you know? So that's a big deal for me. So go to the races, hang out, buy your pit pass or paddock pass, whatever they need to do, walk around, see people, you know, be inquisitive. Your face will be around. If they need help, see if they want help, you know, because you're definitely going to need to network to get into this line of business, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a couple of, if other people are interested in getting into any of the pro racing stuff, there's a couple of Facebook groups. I can't remember the name of them offhand. I want to say like Racing Jobs is one of them. And there's another like SRO / like IMSA like crew or something. I can't remember the name offhand, but there's a couple of Facebook groups where teams put job postings or you can make your own posting. But it's a good thing to have a resume for motorsports. Another thing that I've come to learn too, just from networking and just like the way I am with certain things, that like I've used Instagram as like a digital resume, not just for posting pictures for likes and clout and all that crap, but I've used like Instagram as a digital resume for myself to like kind of show off like, you know, the things I'm capable of. Like, I've built my own race car. I've swapped 1 million people's other cars, and I work on all these other race cars. So it just kind of shows you like, you know, shows people like you can do this. You've been doing this. Like other people trust you with these race cars and everything as well. So like I've definitely used Instagram my fair share to actually help me get places in life, not just for likes and, you know, feeling good about getting 100 likes or comments on a damn post.
Or keeping up with the Joneses.
Absolutely.
Really, I mean, if you're looking to get into this realm, it behooves you probably to keep your Instagram sort of focused, right? You know, I had an episode with a social media guru and coordinator for a couple of industries. And yeah, you need to show your softer side, you know, like, oh, I have a family, I hang out with family and stuff like that. But you really need to show, especially if you're trying to use it to better yourself in racing, you need to show how well you're doing with your vehicle, how well you work with your vehicle, work on your vehicle, that kind of thing. So you're right. It's a digital resume, and it's so easy for people to look you up. You know, your name, generally speaking, unless you went all anonymous on it, is tied to your Instagram. They Google your name, it's going to come up. They're going to start surfing you. So, depending on your settings, but if you're trying to get, clout, you know, like you said, your settings are probably pretty loose anyway. So,
yeah. And I mean, I just always like creating videos and sharing all the cool stuff that I do, and just leads me to meeting other people. Like I've had random people come up to me at the track and just know me from Instagram or the forums, which I got some random local this summer that was like, "Are you Crazy Jets fan?" I was just like, you know me from the forums. This is weird. Like, I haven't heard anybody say that in a long time.
Oh, it's a long time. It takes me back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't even, I don't, I think we both I think we posted more in Chill Chat on K20A than we did anywhere else. I mean, I know you were selling stuff and slinging stuff, but it was just, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure you were on other forums too, but.
Oh, I was on all of them. All, like, I would have like a login where I'd log into like all the forums, update all my for sale posts. My build thread was on Honda Tech K20. Well, I forget where else it was too. NWP. It was on a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah. As the good old days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any other advice for folks that are looking to get a spot? I mean, I think it's key that whole like Facebook group thing. I mean, there's a Facebook group for everything. I didn't even think about that. You know, I know enough folks that work in the industry that if they need me, they'll call me, and I haven't been called yet, so they don't need me. So I'm not really seeking. I stay busy with a microphone and a wrench, you know, keeping my own race program going. But
yeah, what I would say to people is just get out to the track. If you have I mean, even just starting out at your local HPDE events, you never know who's going to be there testing or just with their own personal car, not the race car, or you never know who somebody may know from there. You know, that's a lot of getting places more of who you know, granted what you know, and, you know, executing is definitely a big part of it, but getting your foot in the door is a big thing about just knowing the right people and making those connections.
There's big money at regular old regional races, man. I went to it was like a Saturday morning. I get up, you know, I make sure the car's okay, take the cover off, whatever. And I was like, all right, going to go to the bathroom. So between my paddock spot and the bathroom, there was a poor guy unloading more tires than my brand new race car was worth. I mean, stacks and stacks of Pirellis and Goodyears and all this stuff. And I'm like, what is going on? And he was like, oh, and he takes the covers off and he unzips the tent and then takes the covers off. And it's like 2 Vipers and 2 GT3 RS Porsches. And I was like, holy smokes. And it's one guy. And he's like, I run this car for this group and I have a backup car. And I run this car for this group and I have a backup car. And I was like, are you kidding?
It's crazy. Yeah.
So there's people out there. I guarantee that guy knows somebody. He's rented a seat. I mean, he owns 2 GT3 RS like cup cars. So,
oh, for sure. Yeah. One of the clients that I worked for, he got me to drive his big RV and trailer out there. I have my CDL. I've driven the tractor trailers for the race team too. I've done all the jobs. And he was like, hey, Dave, do you want to drive my rig out to mid-Ohio? I'm going to fly my jet out there. I was like, yo. So we were doing endurance racing and I was like, oh man, I was talking to one of the other crew members and I was like, oh man, like we spent a ton of money on like gas this weekend. It was one of my first like endurance races. And he looks over me and goes, do you guys even know how much jet fuel costs? And I was like, you're right. Perspective. Okay. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that.
Right. Yeah. It's high test kerosene and they ask a lot of money for it. So
yeah,
that's wild, man. You intrigue me with this. What are all the jobs you've done? Do you know off the, I didn't even realize you had your CDL to go drive all this stuff, you know?
Yeah. So let's see. I've done social media for the race team.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been a regular just on the crew. I've been a crew chief car chief. I've been a tire chief. So I was in charge of the tires for all the race cars, that we're running. I've been the truckie. What else have I done?
What's tire chief? Do you have to like mount and balance and then mark all of them and get them all ready, or?
Yeah. So in SRO this last year with Random Vandals Racing, I was the tire chief. Okay. And basically I'm responsible for getting fresh slicks mounted, getting all the tire pressures set, dealing with the engineer, seeing what tire pressures we want to do, cleaning the wheels after they come off, going to Pirelli, getting new tires mounted, dismounted, labeling all of them, making sure the left's on the left, the right's on the right. We also, I usually integrate a number system so we know what tire set number we're on. So like first set we use at the beginning of the season, set 1, the last set's, 31. So we know if do we use this one at VIR? How many laps do we have on it? Just so, if we decide to use a used set again, which in the pro racing world doesn't always happen, they usually get thrown out. But if we use another set again for some point, we know what track they were on, how many laps they have. We can kind of find the data on it. And I also, I take down all the tire pressures. I do all sorts of other data collecting for everything that's going on with them.
So when you take the tire pressures, are you taking them once they've been ripped off the car and thrown over the wall?
So it depends on which racing we're doing. So obviously during practice, they're still on the car. But in SRO, the GT4 class that they run, it's an endurance race, but there's no tire change, just a driver change. But in IMSA, you'll do a full fuel and tire change during a race. So tire pressures. I mean, like when they do the driver change, I'll usually run out there and check the pressures, see if we got to drop them or add a little bit to them, depending on what's going on with the weather or where we are at.
Okay. That's interesting to me. There's probably, I don't know, how many people would you say are on your current team?
On our current team, there's at least 15 to 17 people. So we have a really interesting setup, which I love. I love this race team. They're so great. So we have an engineer, basically. We have like a lead engineer. And then so we run 2 M4 GT4s this past season in SRO. And there's a lead engineer, and then there's like a second engineer, and each of those call the strategy for, each car. Then there's a spotter out there, usually that does both cars. Sometimes there's a second spotter, one for each car, depends on who's available. And then each car has a car chief. Then there's a crew chief that's in charge of all of the crew. And then each car usually has one crew, or sometimes one of the guys will just handle the car on his own, or I'm usually the tire chief and I'm like a second wrench, or I fill in whatever we're doing for alignments if I'm done with my stuff. And then there's a fueler as well. Okay. But what's pretty cool about this race team is they have they basically worked out a really good relationship with BMW, like the corporate world of BMW, where BMW has a program where they take the techs from their dealerships or whatever, and I forget how they pick them exactly, and they fly out 2 techs to the race weekend with us as like a little vacation for them, and like they get exposed to the racing world. So like we have 2 random BMW techs that come out almost every weekend we do this, and they're there to kind of like help work on the cars, help move things around. So it's pretty cool that we got an extra hand, or sometimes you're like, hey, can you just like move these things around, or just somebody to like clean the cars, or just, just another person there to teach stuff too. Like anybody that wants to know, like I teach people about tires or why we're doing certain things, just because, they know the dealer side of things, not the racing. So it's pretty interesting.
Right.
And then one of our drivers, Kevin Bohm, he's sponsored by CrowdStrike, and he also has a sponsorship with a company called Operation Motorsports, where they basically help veterans recover and like through, I guess, like motorsports. And like, so he has 2 veterans that come out to the track every race weekend with us and lend a hand. And like the guys that we get are just like awesome. Like they're like friends for life now, like teaching a couple of them about just more stuff about cars. They're wrenching on the cars. They're helping us if, somebody crashed and there's just one of those frenzies where you just got to get stuff done. Like they're helping out, handing tools, grabbing stuff. So it's really cool. So we got a large team, but it's definitely
Awesome.
needed. Then like we have somebody that, I mean, this is definitely a little bit on the fancier side, but we have somebody that takes care of just the hospitality. So he books all the hotel, helps with some of the travel booking, and then takes care of all the food for us. So we don't have to like think. There's just food there, which is amazing when you're at the track. Like there's times where I'm like, I haven't eaten in like 5 hours, but there's food over there on that table and I'm going to eat. I'm just so busy. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. That shows the professionalism of the team when they can have somebody that's there to make sure that everybody has food if they need it. Not to tell you need to eat, but it's available, it's fresh, it's, probably not, it's not salad all the time, but it's probably not the same junk food that a lot of teams would scrape together. So
yeah, no, it's definitely nice. This team is definitely a level above a couple others that I've worked on. Like they really care about their people. Like, they'll spend a little extra money on the good food so we eat well instead of eating Wendy's 3 nights a week, and you just feel that sitting in your stomach. You just feel like crap. Yeah. So, just keep us performing well by eating well. All that goes a long way.
Absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, It was good to catch up and hear your story and your experience on how you got where you are. Let's give some plugs to your Instagram, to your businesses. Let's make sure everybody knows where they can find stuff. I know you need to revamp the website, but maybe this motivates you a little bit to get that done.
Yes, it definitely will. So you can find me on Instagram at, Dave __ Marino. My car part page is DM Auto Parts NY. That's on Facebook as well. And if you're a K-Swap person, I have a small YouTube channel that has a couple of DIYs on there. I think that's under Dave Marino as well. Honestly, if you Google my name, a lot of stuff pops up for me because I post a lot. And then the website is dmautopartsny.com. Right now, I just have like apparel and some other things on there. Like you said, I definitely have to revamp the website now. You're making me think about all the stuff I want to do and get done. So I got to add a couple of things on there, but
you're the one that has the Run H2, Run H1, Run K20, all that stuff is on there. You have the trifecta rainbow of the Type Rs, the OG Type Rs. So the yellow, white and black Type R canvas photos with the engine bays. Those are amazing photos. I need to get my hands on some of those. You've got all sorts of stuff on there. So he's not just slinging parts, which he apparently hasn't dismantled a car in a while, but
yeah, I've been slacking on that end, but I think at some point in the near future, try and part out some more cars or just maybe produce some little things on my own. I got a lot of ideas in my head. It's just finding the time to execute all of them, but
yeah, time is always precious to us. So,
oh yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on the show. I appreciate you. It's good to catch up. It's good to see you again, even though it's through a video camera. Maybe I'll have to come up there or come find you at the track sometime soon.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. I'd love to see you again soon.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.